Hello and welcome. I am Chantel Taltioli, and I'm going to talk today about how I manifest. And in full disclosure and full honesty, sometimes I feel like that word is kind of thrown around a little bit. And so I found myself hesitating talking about this out in like the open public, right? I talk about this all the time in my private groups, but there is a very scientific way of manifesting. And in fact, the truth is you're manifesting all the time, right? You are creating your reality. You're creating exactly what it is that you're experiencing right now. We tend to think of the word manifest as something as in I'm trying to create this thing that I'm achieving, or sometimes the vision that I get is like that carrot dangling in front of you, right? You're trying to get to it, trying to get to it, trying to get to it. But the truth is you are manifesting right now, right now, right now on a moment by moment basis. You are literally manifesting consistently. And so what I teach in my programs is how to manifest what it is that you are really desiring in your life. And so I had a really fun experience yesterday, and I wanted to share it with you as I was thinking about this. So, hello, everyone that's hopping on live here. I would love to know who you are. Say hello, just so I can send you some love, whether you're live or on the replay as well. And so, here's what happened. I opened up my bedroom windows, and we have these shutters, and they open all the way up. So I'd open them all the way up. I got my meditation pillow. I sat up against the wall, and I kind of choose somewhere different in my home all the time where I'm going to do my EFT tapping, where I'm going to run quantum expansion, where I'm going to do meditation. It just depends. And so I love this one particular space that I sit in my home. And this is what I suggest for you also. If you're a person that finds yourself really hard to sit still, give yourself 30 seconds, 35 seconds, 40 seconds to sit just quiet in meditation. It can even be guided to start with. I was the person years and years and years ago that would go into meditation, guided meditation, and I'm admitting this out loud, and I would like fast forward the meditation, which is like the irony to that, right? And it's so super funny to me now because I'm now teaching meditation. I now can sit for hours in meditation, and it feels like the blink of an eye. But if there's one thing that I can really attribute to where my life started to really take a change, it was that I decided to meditate every single day. Okay, there's my one tangent I'll take for now. I'll probably take another one. So there I am sitting on my meditation pillow. I open up the shutters, and outside my bedroom window, the bedroom window faces south. And at the south end of the valley, we're right up here up against the mountains, there's one particular home that has always stood out to me ever since we built this home. It looks like a castle. It's got this round, like huge brick, and this like it comes to a point at the top on one side of the home, and it sits literally all by itself. There's some other homes around it. You can kind of see them around, but every time I look at it, we're close enough to the mountain that I can't actually even see a road getting to that home. And we've been in our home now, I guess maybe 5 years this month. And I've always just been super curious about this home. I've never even said this out loud. This was me yesterday. I was doing my EFT tapping as I sat on the meditation pillow. And I was looking at this home, and I thought, I am so curious about it. And I am currently in the process of understanding that the home that my family and I are in right now, that I did manifest over 5 years ago, was our dream home then. And I feel it in my soul that I'm being called to even more, something more expansive. And so if you're interested, I did a clicker here. If you're interested in finding out how I manifested our last home, I put it on my YouTube channel, which I always forget to talk about, but I do have a YouTube channel. It's just under my business name, A Beautiful Surprise, Pize. And so you can go there, you can watch it. I think it's one of the first videos I ever did, but I had a very particular way that I manifested that dream home. So fast forward, here we are. I've built this studio also, right? So many things I've manifested in my life. And when I look back at it, until I really had all of the skills and everything that I know and I understand now, and especially through universal laws that I know and understand, like in my being, not just from a logical sense, that I'm living this every single day, that I can start to put all of the puzzle pieces together, everything starts to click together. And I start to understand as I move forward, as I'm wanting to manifest this next phase of my life, this next dream home. And I can take these very detailed, very conscious steps moving towards what it is that I'm wanting to manifest. Hi, Mocha. Hey, Sherry. And so the home that I see on the hill is not my dream home, but I've just been super curious about it. It's very expansive. It feels very expansive. Hey, Cher. Make sure I say hi to everyone that's here. Thank you so much for being here live. So, okay, so here's what happened. I'm looking at it. I'm super, super curious about it. My two girls are at school. This is like mid-morning. My husband's at work, and my older son, who lives on his own, had actually come over for a visit. He came super early, so he was actually napping in the girls' bedroom. So I'm just sitting there all by myself. And I thought, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kind of like, I want to find that home. I want to see where it's at. I want to like, even though there's no road to it, it sits all by itself. I want to see if I can find it. And so I did that. I hopped in my car. I let my car kind of take me. And I do this quite often. There's a lot of programs that I'm listening to that is part of my continuing education that I listen to as I'm driving. And I don't need to drive in any particular anywhere. I just drive and I just really enjoy. I mean, Utah is gorgeous right now with the leaves changing and everything. So I drive and I'm driving for about 5 minutes and I'm driving around and I'm so curious. I want to find this home. I want to figure out how these people that live in this home get to this place. It has no, no driveway. And I'm driving for maybe like, I don't know, 7, 8 minutes now at this point. And I'm looking around and I'm just really enjoying it. And I thought, you know what? It's okay. If I don't find that road, it's not meant to be. And then I see a couple of ladies and a dog walking, and they're walking kind of in an off-beaten path, but it's paved. And so I thought, well, that's really interesting. They're going and it says no outlet, right? No, there's no way of getting through. And I keep driving, and I circle back and I come around. And anyways, I see the same dog and the two ladies, and they're now down the way a little bit. And I take a turn. I turn. I really quantum numerology student. Also, I turn based on addresses quite a bit as well. And so I saw the name of this street, and it was called Sol Vista. So anyone in Utah that knows about Sol Vista, I'm interested in that property. And so I was like, well, I love the name of that street sign also. So I turn up it, and it's getting just like more of a little bit, like it's paved, but it's more, you can tell it's like it hasn't been traveled very often, right? So I'm driving, and it's this straight road, and I go straight up to it, and it leads into like what looks like a big cul-de-sac, but it's just all open. There's nothing around it. And I'm like, this is amazing. The views, you can see the entire city. I can see straight through is downtown Salt Lake. I can find the University of Utah. I can find everything. And we're about, I don't know, 45, 50 miles from that. That's how high up we're sitting on the mountain, or I was sitting up on the mountain at this point, looking out. And I was sitting there in the car because honestly, I had no shoes on. It's really muddy in Utah right now. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, man, if I had shoes on, I'd get out. I'd look at this view, but it's okay. I'm just going to stay here for a moment. And I'm like just breathing this in. And it appears that like, it's this flat open space, and then it just drops off. And I just get really curious about it. And I'm looking around and I can see the whole valley, and I'm just breathing into it. And then I turn and I look over my left shoulder, and there's the house. There's the driveway, literally 100, 200 feet. I'm not that great at measuring distance. But this is how I manifest. I got really curious about something. And instead of the old self telling me that that is, well, how could I want something even more than I already have? My husband and I have built two dream homes in our life. I built this gorgeous Pilates studio that I'm sitting in, so many like cars, everything. And I am speaking more right now into more of the tangible kind of things, but this is done on emotional level as well, mental, spiritual, how we feel about ourselves. And so I look over my left shoulder and I see the home and the emotions. I start crying because I understand what I'm really doing. I understand that I had released the resistance that I had to finding this home, right? This is the old self, our old selves that, no, it has to be this way, right? We think that it has to be one particular way in order to get to where we think our destiny is. And within, I don't know, like the 7 minutes that I had drove, really in my intention to find the home, I had released that and I had decided that, whoa, this view is so expansive. And I was living in that emotion and breathing it in. And my mind started going to all these places of like, I could come out here and I could teach Pilates. I could stand out here and we could build a balcony. And like, I don't even know if this land's for sale also, like there's nothing there. But I started going there emotionally, like this or something better is usually how I manifest, right? So that's the first step. Get curious. Allow yourself to stay in that curious mindset, and then feel it in your body, and then take an action step towards it. My action step was hopping in my car and driving into this neighborhood and just being amongst the energy of it and looking for it. And then as I got to where I thought, well, I'm not going to find the home, so I'm just going to like, whoa, look at this. I found that open expansiveness. And as I leaned into that, over my left shoulder, the universe showed me I was already there. And all of you are already there also. You are so there already. It already exists. Stay curious, stay open, move, take the action, even as small as it might seem. Sometimes even the action for me might not have been in like hopping in the car and driving to it. It might have been just looking at the home. And I've done this so many times. I've stood at my bedroom window and I've looked out and I've got so curious about this home. And I can't find the driveway. Like, how do these people get up there? Are they flying in and off a helicopter? Like all of these things. Turns out there is an amazing, just super windy driveway up to these people's homes, or these people home, one home. But because of the way that the other land sits, you can't see it from the angle that my home sits at. So I just got really, and I allowed myself to be there, and I felt the feelings, and I felt myself really teaching Pilates from this balcony, teaching quantum expansion, teaching universal laws, teaching everything else that I teach in all of my programs from this balcony, from this expansive view. I imagined the teacher trainers that come in and all of my family and everyone, like where all the space would be, how we could come out here on the balcony and how we could, I had it all mapped out in my head and I was feeling the feelings. And this is quantum physics. This is the way that the universe works. You get curious about something, you move towards it, and it will unfold for you. This is the red carpet to your life. It already exists. You just stay in that high vibrational energy of what feels like very peaceful, feels like very, your nervous system just whooshing, and it will unfold for you, right? Release the resistance that it has to happen one particular way and lean into the energy of this is actually what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, like, for example, my expansiveness. Every time I visualize our dream home, there's a huge balcony off the back with an amazing view of the Utah Valley. And that's what this open area provided for me. Super bonus, over my left shoulder was actually what I was searching for when I went out there. So I'll tell you the next part of this. So I'm leaning into those emotions, right? So I just wanted to give you in this live some step-by-steps. Get curious about what it is that you do want. Take an action, no matter how small it seems like it is. Take the action towards being curious, the next thing. And whatever you're thinking about right now, if you're thinking about something that you really want to manifest in your life, ask yourself, get really curious, what's the next thing that I could do? And that next thing, do it today. Okay. So I got back home. I was doing some work online. My older son that was napping in my girls' room, he woke up and I was like, let's go on a hike. I got really inspired to go on a hike. And he was like, all right. So we got ready. We went on a hike. I found another trail that I'd never been on before. Maybe I'll post some pictures here and share with you. And so I was telling him this story, like, as you were sleeping, guess what happened? And we go on this hike, we come back down, and as we're driving down this trail that I had never been down before, sure enough, there's the street. Now, this is not like a small area. There's tons of different roads I could have taken. I took a different one. I didn't know where we were. Sometimes, sometimes I have to use maps to get back to my house, even though I'm staying really close. And I drove right past it and I was like, Dare, this is the place. This is it right here. Well, because we'd been hiking, I had shoes on. So we drove right up to the place and I'm telling him this story and he's standing out there and he's walking all the way out to the very edge. And I got some really cool pictures of him and I got a panoramic view of us standing there and then kind of looking over our left shoulder. And I was telling him about this home. Thank you. It's my mailman bringing me more money. See how you manifest. So I just thought it was so cool that, again, I found it. And this is what happens. The universe keeps showing you evidence as you just stay in the curious mind. I stayed curious. I stayed in the higher vibration of, let's go on a hike. Like, I'm going to put away my work for a minute. Let's go on a hike. I was living in that higher emotional state. And so this is how you manifest. These are the first steps. stay in that, whatever it might be. So for me, it's always super curious, right? And I lean into that, and I understand that is 100% possible for me. So I'm just going to read some of these comments. I'm right with you on this. Yes, thanks, Cher. I did that the other day, drove through my preferred area. Yes, what's the emoji face, right? You did that the other day. You drove through your preferred area and really, really feel yourself being there, right? Feel yourself hanging the art that you want to have on the wall, the car you want to drive pulling into the driveway, your kids or your grandkids playing out on the front yard, or neighborhood kids coming over, whatever it might be, really feeling and see if you can feel yourself being there, right? Coming home from a trip and putting down your luggage, or unloading your luggage, or making your bed in that space, or making dinner, whatever else it might be. So I just want to make sure everyone that's here that made a comment, I want to just put that here. Another thing, and I'll share, let's see, what time is it? It's 11:35. I have a session here starting in just a little bit, so I'll make sure I'm done in time. But I'll share with you another thing. Pretty quick after we moved into our current home, that was our dream home that I did manifest a little over 5 years ago, I realized that we have outgrown it, that I am ready for something different, something more expansive, something more that fits our lifestyle and where we're at right now. And so I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that comment. So I found myself not keeping up with the home. I found myself not putting any art on the wall, not hanging any pictures. I found myself doing stuff like just stuff like that. I had noticed that like corners, how they can get a little mucked up, the sides of the walls, all stuff that like it needed paint touch-ups. It just needed a little TLC. But I found myself, this was way back before I really started understanding manifesting the way that I do today. I understand it so much more than I did yesterday, right? And down the trail. And so this really is how you manifest. The next step is take care, live in the gratitude of what you have right now. And so I'm a ruling number 7. I'm going. I'm consistently flying really, really fast. And so just take a moment, take a breath, reflect on where you're at right now, and remind yourself that where you're at right now is quite possibly what used to be a dream for you. I have a sign in the back of my studio that says, I still remember when I prayed for all the things I have now. And I look at it every single time I walk past it because it is so incredibly true. If you would have told me 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, that I'd be sitting in a 2,000 square foot full size Pilates studio to do this live, I wouldn't have believed it. And this is so true, so that my dreams just get bigger and more expansive because I'm living them and I'm teaching them and my clients are living them. And so that was just a really fun experience that I had yesterday. And I just wanted to come here and share with you. I would love for those of you that are watching this on the replay to come back and let us know. Let me know what's something that you feel like you've manifested and maybe you didn't realize it until now, right? This is the way that manifestation works also. You can connect the dots when you look back. You can't connect them when you look forward, because it's not there yet. Your destiny, your path is only yours. And if you're looking over at your neighbors and saying, well, he or she did this and then it led to that, it's not your path. You create your path. You stay curious. You keep stepping forward and moving into what it is that you're going to create for yourself next and next and next. So I'm reading this comment here. I was curious as I felt the feelings of this. Is the right area in my heart for sure? Absolutely. Feel it in your body, right? That's the next step. Stay in the emotion, feel it in your body. Ask yourself, ask this space, are you for me as much as I feel like I am for you? This is how, when I just got back from Costa Rica, I went on the beach every single day and I would walk the beach and I would ask for like whatever shell. I have a big bowl sitting at the front of my home from every time we've been to a beach and I've taken some shells, and I will ask which shell is meant to go home with me and be in the bowl with all of the other shells from the beaches that I've ever been to. And I will pick up the ones that call to me, and then I will sit down in the ocean. I will open up my palm and I will ask if I can have this. And the ocean will tell me yes or no, right? And I take a little bit, I take a palmful, but I ask which ones are meant to go home with me and be in the energy of my home and the reminder that my soul lives in the ocean, and that this is really where I want to manifest even more. I have a whole other story that I could talk about once I hung a picture of the ocean up in my my first corner in my room. So the energy of today is, it's a ruling 7, and it is, I'm a ruling 7. The energy of the day, the universal energy that we're all feeling is, what is calling to you that feels like freedom to you, freedom in your body, freedom in your mind, freedom in your soul, in your spirit, in your home, in the way that you move through life. And it's really, really asking you to lean into taking care of yourself first. This is the whole premise to my Rise Tribe, right? The hashtag Rise Tribe. You can find some more information out about that if you're interested. But the Rise Tribe is about raising the consciousness of the universe, starting with yourself. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead, and I'll drop a link here. You can fill it out and we'll have a conversation, because I am sensing there's some people right now that are meant to be in the Rise Tribe as well that's watching this. But the energy in particular for today is really asking you to take care of yourself. And again, and that, like, manifestation, self-care, sometimes I feel like are these like keywords that kind of like, we hear them and we hear them and they just kind of move off to the side. Really lean into that. How can you care for yourself even more today, and keep that as a momentum as you move forward into the next day, into the next day, into the next day? I'll share with you right now, I'm rereading A Happy Pocket Full of Money. This is the first chapter talks about quantum physics. And I've asked all of my current clients to reread this with me, and we're sharing this together. And you can really replace money with joy, with happiness, with abundance, with anything else you want to. But the author here, he talks about money as the way of, you can manifest, you can create it in a very scientific but also spiritual way. It's beautiful the way that he brings this together. As I reread this and I understand and I teach universal law now, everything just, oh my gosh, I'm just having so many more ahas than the first time that I read it. So I'll even drop a link here. I have a free group as well. It's called the Free 7-Day Series, where I did something different every single day a month or so ago. But I'm keeping that group open so that those of us that are wanting to raise the consciousness of the planet, that may not be ready to go into a paid program just yet, you can go there. I'll drop the link for that as well. And let's talk about this, right? I highly suggest that you actually get the book so that you can highlight, so that you can turn the pages, you can hear the sound of the pages, you can hold it in your hand. It is very, very different than listening to the Audible version, which I've done as well. All right, I just wanted to share. This is how I'm doing my self-care a little extra today. I get to teach a Pilates class. I get to teach in my Rise Tribe. I get to take my girls to a Halloween carnival after school. I get to do so many other things. I get to be a client, a student also today as well. So with that, I will go ahead and sign off. And yes, please share. Oh, the name of the book, someone's asking, is A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And I highly suggest getting the hard copy. Okay. Sometimes I wonder where he was going with this. Like, you always wonder, right? Like, I won't go down that tangent, but the way that the picture here, yeah, I'll come back and I'll do a different tangent. I'll do a different rabbit hole on this. But this book really speaks into quantum physics, and I love how he made this very fluffy, and the flowers, right? It's very abundant in the flowers, and so it's interesting. I'll leave it at that. So, all right, everyone. Join me in the Free 7-Day Series. If you're ready to hop into a paid for program in my Rise Tribe, we do tapping, we do guided EFT tapping together, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you for being here. And I would love to know any comments, questions. Until next time.